You've heard of the ongoing discussion on freedom of expression, and I personally felt pretty outraged last year when a group of people started to make it fashionable to speak against the nation. We saw the limits of the debate on freedom of expression last year. Sadhguru, my question to you is in the context of what is happening today. We've seen a little bit of that happen once again on the North Campus of Delhi University. In your view, why is it becoming fashionable for some people to run down the nation and then use that as an example of the freedom of expression? I find that hypocrisy. What do you think?
Everybody is very freely quoting the Constitution. It is the Constitution of India which gives you the freedom of speech. You must stress on the word India. It is the Constitution of India, it is not some divine constitution which has given you this freedom. It is the Constitution of India which has given you this freedom. The moment you question that, then you have questioned the fundamentals of the making of a nation. See, religions have their own constitution. The only problem with this constitution is it's not amendable. A nation has a constitution, but if all of us don't like it, we can amend it. It's not given by somebody, we made it, we agreed to it, it's an agreement. Our constitution is an agreement among us. So when the freedom of speech was given, they put 8 restrictions. The Indian constitution puts 8 restrictions on freedom of speech. One fundamental restriction is, it should not question the sovereignty of the nation. The moment you question it, you're questioning the existence of the nation. Where does the constitution give you freedom? It doesn't make sense. So, these things are coming from a certain background. I'm telling you, I went through this when I was 13, 14. By the time I was 15, I was ready to pick up the gun. Because they have fiery talks every day, you know. Very insightful, I mean, not insightful, very inciting kind of talks. So fired up that you want to do something. And when you're young, you always think, violence is the solution. Those people who are talking about peace, they don't believe in it, they believe in violence. The moment you talk about breaking up something, there is going to be violence, whether you like it or you don't like it. If you don't have to go that back far in history, if you just go back to 1948, when the country was broken, because we didn't have the courage to fix it, we broke it, we're still bleeding. 500,000 people died, endless amount of suffering people went through, and still there are colonies both here in this country and that country which are still not sorted out. Yes? Still, even properties are not settled 70 years. How long do you think is human lifespan? Are we going to live for 1,000 years, that we're going to settle our problems over 70, 100 years? Still, both the nations are bleeding. When I say bleeding, don't think only of the human blood. What is the kind of investment we are making in our armed forces? Only because we broke this country, isn't it? Otherwise, everything could have been focused on the well-being of the people. I'm not commenting on this. Just recently when I was just reading the newspapers, I saw $28 billion for a missile defense system from Russia we're buying. We are buying much more. But I'm just saying, $28 billion, when I think about it, we could educate every child in the country, we could nourish every child in the country, we could do so much work. We could make sure people in this country live well, but we cannot do that right now, simply because we broke the nation. So if you talk about breaking it further, this will go on for centuries, because breaking will never be clean breaking, it'll not happen like that. When you break, somebody will be this side, somebody will be that side, so much human suffering, resentment, hatred, which you cannot solve. This line that was drawn just 60, 70 years ago, can you believe it is only 60 years? The level of hatred we have for each other. You can't cure this, isn't it? So, breaking is never a solution, it's better to sort it out. whichever way it comes, better to sort it out. For that we have a framework which is called the Constitution. Constitution, I'm repeating this, is not a divine document. It is an agreement between you and me, so that in every step that we take, we don't collide with each other.
Yeah.
This is the law that we will follow, that's all.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm so glad that you have made your position so abundantly clear on this subject, because I don't know why people are conflicted, Sadhguru. Some people say they are conflicted even over issues such as whether you need to stand up for the national anthem. We had the
That's because in the theatres, in one hand they have popcorn, in the other hand they have Coca-Cola. They cannot stand up, you must consider these things.
No, but there was that absurd debate last year, and I know many people here would know about it. It became fashionable last year to say, assert my right to rebel, and my rebellion is that I will not stand up for the national anthem. And I'm saying this openly, Sadhguru, I'm a part of the media too. But I found the pseudo-liberal media in this country advocating that as an example of the freedom of expression. And forgive me my directness on this, I never felt people in my fraternity were more wrong.
See, what we need to understand is, we are picking up bits and pieces from developed nations and trying to implant it into our country.
Well said, well said.
When…
Well said.
When 50% of the population has not even eaten properly, you can't be debating nuances of democracy. It's just stupid. You go to United States of America, in every sports event, okay, in a baseball match, national anthem is played, everybody will stand up like this, okay, with their hand on their heart. Well, you're discussing some kind of French Revolution, all right, but you don't have River Seine flowing, nor do you have Paris around you. You have slums around you, you have a stinking Yamuna flowing. You shouldn't be talking the same language. And half the people have not eaten properly. Just take a walk. Just take a walk in one of the villages. You will see 60% of the population, their skeletal system has not grown to full size. We are busy producing underdeveloped human beings. Substandard human beings you're producing, and you're talking about a great nation and fanciful ideas. This is not the time. When everybody is well-fed, when things are taken care of, then maybe you can talk about certain things. This is not the time.
I don't agree with you, Sadhguru. I don't think great nations are built out of economic well-being. But that's my simple point of polite disagreement with you.
I'm not saying economic well-being. Eating what I need to eat to sustain this body is not economic well-being, it is a fundamental right. Whether there is a nation or no nation, not just for a human being, not just for a human being, for every worm, insect, animal, bird, the basic sustenance necessary for their survival is the right of that creature, isn't it? So this is not about economic well-being, this is a must for every life. Every worm, insect, bird, animal, tree must get the fundamental nourishment. Of course, we are included as one of the creatures.